postaneš Slovenec? Z Michaelom Manskim, 27. del, part 27.
Kako greš veseljačit v Sarajevo?
Every country has a place where people like to go for a lost weekend. In the US, it's Las Vegas or Tijuana, Mexico. In Slovenia, the two popular places are Belgrade and Sarajevo. It seems to be a special Slovenian tradition to get in a bus, drive down to either place, and then drink, dance, drink, eat, drink and drink, drink and drink and drink. From what I can tell, the drinking starts while you're waiting for the bus and then continues for the entire 8-hour drive. People have been telling me about their lost weekends from the very beginning. When listening to these stories, I always noticed something strange, though. I would always hear about the best cevapcici ever, beautiful Balkan women, and the fact that beers are 1 mark, so about 50 cents. But not so much about the city itself. When they came back, conversations would go something like this.
Ja, in potem smo prišli nazaj in sem šel na pregled. In veš kaj, zdravnik je rekel, da imam jetra, kot da bi bil star 90 let. Joj, veš, kako sem bruhal.
Samo malo, kje si že bil? V Beogradu ali Sarajevu?
Tega se ne spomnim. Sem bil že v komi na avtobusu. Veš, kako sem bruhal. V glavnem, pivo je ful poceni, moraš iti.
So, after a decade, I finally decided to go and see it for myself. It was, a huge mistake. Or at least driving down by yourself is. Maybe the city looks different when you're stone cold sober, but I found it incredibly sad, just soul-crushing in almost every way. You know what's depressing? Seeing a pack of cold and hungry puppies starving on a city street. You know what's even more depressing? Seeing locals kick them out of the way. And what's even more depressing? A few blocks away there are 3-year-old kids begging next to 80-year-old grandmothers. In one slum of Sarajevo, I actually saw a naked kid. I mean, in November. Running around naked. Now, I spent most of my childhood in the Deep South in the US, so I'm not a stranger to poverty and blight, but still, holy f***. Now, I think I know what some of you are thinking right now. Maybe something like this.
Michael, ti si tujec in ne razumeš. Na Balkanu nimajo nič, ampak vseeno radi žurajo. Ne tako kot mi Slovenci. Oni doli so veseli in odprti.
I've heard this a lot, and honestly, this is total bull. I don't know where this myth came from, or why Slovenes believe it, or why Slovenes are so down on themselves, but the whole idea is bull. Every year, the United Nations and Columbia University in New York publish something called the World Happiness Report. It rates how happy people are around the world. In the most recent one, for example, Denmark finished in 1st place as the happiest country. Slovenia finished in 44th place. Bosnia, 107th place. That's right, 60 spots below the allegedly cold and unhappy Slovenes, behind places like Iraq and Kosovo even. Now for the grand finale, or what Slovenes would call the pika na I, we got shaken down by 2 cops in Sarajevo. That was a first for me as well. Paying cops for no reason, well, besides the fact that you're a foreigner, is just total I can't tell you how great it was to make it back to the Gruškoje border crossing. A big shout out to all the angry men and women who work there. I've never been so happy to see someone who wasn't really happy to see me. In the end, I admit that the cevapcici were good and the beer was good. But honestly, if you can't find good cevapcici in Slovenia, you don't know what you're doing. And if you can't find good beer or a good party here, you also don't know what you're doing. And if you can't find any beautiful women in Slovenia, you definitely don't know what the you're doing. In short, it took a terrible trip to Sarajevo to help me remember how truly great Slovenia is and how happy I am to be here.
How to become a Slovene with Michael Mansky.